Nothing says I don't like children showing up to a child-free wedding. What is up, everybody? It's Kelsey with Diary of the Childfree, and welcome back to part 6 of our monthly series, What Would You Do? Today, we are discussing the topic of child-free weddings, the rage it invokes in plenty of parents, as well as the times where the wishes of the bride and groom are not respected. Can we all accept that while weddings can be a special moment celebrated amongst family members and friends, that they aren't always going to be an ideal place for children? I'm sure a good chunk of us collectively have a similar experience of what it is like to experience a wedding as a child. They can be incredibly boring. And as a child, that 20 to 30 minute ceremony followed by hours of being at an after party can honestly feel eternal. Unfortunately, from time to time, there are going to be those parents who excuse their child's poor behavior, also that they can turn a blind eye while they continue to drink and dance the night away. But if you weren't going to plan on watching your children in the first place, or worse, leave it up to the will of others, you shouldn't have brought your children with you. Children are notorious for being disruptive, especially when the environment is incredibly understimulating. It's something we often know is not fully controllable, which is why for things such as weddings, it's best to avoid in the first place. This is out of respect for the bride and groom who put a lot of time, money, and thought into their special day. So I forget where I saw this particular story, but if I do happen to find it again, I'll make sure to share it on my Instagram page. It stood out the most out of stories I've seen recently because the wedding guests demanded that the bride cover the cost of her childcare, among the cost of transporting herself to the wedding location, as well as what she purchased to wear there. Let's just focus on the childcare part though. It is no one's responsibility but your own as the parent to find childcare. It's a given that childcare can be expensive, but the mature and more idealistic approach, no matter how badly you want to attend this wedding, would be to politely decline and wish the couple all your best. It can be tough at times, I get it, especially if you can't afford said babysitter and don't have any friends or family available or nearby to do you a favor. But unless someone offers to personally cover that cost for you, never ask or expect that of them. And that goes for nearly everything in life. A lot of us know just how much it can suck to miss out on those big moments. But sometimes life hits us and there isn't a whole lot we can change about it other than the fact of how we handle and approach the situation. Lately, there have also been couples who have spent the time and money on the considerate thought of providing some sort of childcare or child activities at their wedding. A Reddit user shared a few days ago about how she provided childcare during the reception hours of her wedding this past summer. This was to ensure that family members and friends with children could still attend. She rented an indoor playground which was owned by her brother. She shared that all the staff were properly trained and up to date with things like their CPR, as well as police screenings. She even paid the staff extra to work later hours and avoid people having to leave the wedding early. She also made sure that food and beverages were provided for the children there. Despite these efforts to be accommodating, parents were still furious, and for reasons that are honestly quite laughable. I'm talking that they were mad that the children didn't get the same food as they did from the reception, that the childcare was too far away even though it was only a 5-minute drive, and the fact that there was no one to watch nursing babies even though small infants were allowed to remain at the wedding. She goes on to describe how both friends and family called her all sorts of different names just for not wanting to have disruptive children on her special day. And that's despite her efforts to go above and beyond to be as accommodating as possible. The bride and groom later decided that it would have been much easier and cheaper to keep things strictly child-free because the hate from it would have been the same either way. What shocks me is when parents ignore the wishes of the wedding that they are attending and still show up with their children. It's beyond disrespectful considering this day is not about them at all, even in the slightest. And it shows that they are putting their own selfish desires ahead of the bride's, the groom's, and other guests. Unless you have already spoken to the bride and the groom directly, just avoid going against their wishes. I understand that things can happen, such as a babysitter canceling last minute with not enough notice, but when in doubt, talk and communicate with the people in charge before making sudden choices. Not doing so is bound to cause tension, drama, and some level of negative emotions within an already stressful and anxious-filled day. A wedding is never the place to take matters into your own hands. If the couple has made special requests such as leaving your children at home, either follow them, politely decline the invite, or in some matters speak to them privately if a certain situation arises. On top of the bride and the groom, there are also multiple guests to be mindful of as well. And if the couple wants to focus on their wedding environment being peaceful, respect their wishes. After all, it is often a moment for everyone invited to relax, party, and let loose. It's never fun to hear children screaming and crying while the bride and groom say their I do's, have children play too close to the wedding cake, or even as a parent yourself maybe, have to leave early because you're on your child's schedule. The day belongs to the bride and groom. Just that one day, so don't be the person who ruins it. So what would you do if you ever found yourself in this situation? Whether you've personally experienced some of the things that we discussed in this video, or that you simply just want to add your input. Feel free to leave your take on this in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more, make sure to like and subscribe to stay posted, and as always, keep being authentically child-free.